the Brown boys, the Brown boys, the Brown boys, we the Brown boys, the Brown boys, we the Brown boys. This is on Chaz NBA. Let me go here go they little back and forth.
You know, the guys that you usually get into the back and forth with, they become back and forth because there's like a weight that's like one of them like severely tips something this way and the other is just like kind of so far down that it kind of pulls you back a little bit. And so, you know, speaking of Austin Rivers, you know, I saw he said he's bewildered and it's ridiculous of what I said. And I just find it interesting that a guy who was the 10th pick in my draft, I was 35, who's on his second act, I'm still on act one, would say such things. You know, he goes, Draymond, it's never been a scorer. Well, Austin, you and I averaged the same amount of points in high school when you were a scorer. I don't know what would qualify Austin Rivers to speak about scoring when in high school, me and you averaged the same amount of points. And I say high school because that's when you were at your best. That's when Austin Rivers was Austin Rivers in high school. And so that's why I point out the high school scoring because, you know, I want to make it fair. I want to speak about him when he was at his best. And he was at his best at Winter Park, if I remember correctly. He had ESPN games. Like, that's when he was at his best. When he was faster than everybody and can just put his...
Man, this is condescending as shit. Golly. The man made it to the NBA. Why can't we just respect him for that? Why we got to talk about at your best and all that? Like, now we done took the lead to the point where if you didn't score a bunch of points, then you ain't... I don't get it. Ben Wallace is a Hall of Famer, and you can't take nothing away from him, and he didn't do it by scoring a bunch of points. This is stupid. Like, this is crazy to me. What did Austin Rivers say to him to warrant all this? It's wild.
Head down and drive right and get to the rim. And then in college, you know, he was still good. He was very featured at Duke and, you know, had a very big moment, you know, where he hit the three on the wing. Like, you know, you got to give him credit. That's when he was at his best, you know. Well, in college, he averaged almost 17 points a game in the Big Ten. Very limited possessions, you know. So I only want to speak about Austin at his best because NBA careers, should he really talk about my NBA career? I don't know that that's the case. I'm still with my first team. He was gone from his first team in 2 years. And so I just like, sometimes you just should like not say something. You know, like always isn't a time to, everything isn't something you should speak on. And I don't think that was really one for Austin Rivers to be bewildered about and like say it's ridiculous because like the guy received the biggest bailout in U.S. history prior to President Trump bailing out the airlines when they needed it. Austin Rivers received the biggest bailout in NBA history, in world history, in U.S. history, received the biggest bailout in U.S. history when his dad gave him $42 million. And I tip my hat to Doc.
So his dad gave him $42 million, and the story is he got the biggest bailout in U.S. history. But Bronny James had a heart surgery and averaged 4 or 5 points in college and got drafted, guaranteed 2-year deal, $8 million or something like that, guaranteed roster spot, and that's called nepotism. But when this black young man gets some money, it's called the biggest, wow, that's crazy. The biggest bailout in history. That's amazing, boy. It's all about who we like. See, they'll shit on somebody else for getting the same treatment as they homeboy. His homeboy son, if you want to be fair, if you want to say that Austin Reeves got a bailout, then Bronny did too. So you shouldn't be speaking on this young man if you cool with LeBron doing that for Bronny. That's where you show it's personal.
Pray that one day, you know, I mean, it won't be $42 million then because NBA is going up so much. But I pray that I can give DJ $200 million or give Deuce $250 million. I pray that I can do that one day. So I tip my hat to Doc and his incredible bailout of his son and putting good money in his pocket, man. Like I really tip my cap to him. But, you know, if you listen to the whole thing, the whole 3 minutes of what I spoke about, what a competent basketball mind would have heard was, man, this guy who wanted to do this, who thought he was this, changed his game and then still became this because that's what worked best for the team. Never shared those gripes because they didn't matter. And by the way, still don't matter because guess what? I don't care. I'm totally fine. My career's been great. So I found it interesting for people who need things to speak on to make it out as if I'm sitting here complaining about my career has been so bad. No, my career has been great, possibly Hall of Fame worthy. And I love how people just go take the 15 seconds that they want to take and make it a headline. But I really enjoyed watching Austin Rivers be bewildered by a statement of a guy who was drafted after him, still doing it after he's done, long after he's done, at a higher level right now today than he ever did it. Right now today, more impactful, bar none. Now, had Austin Rivers taken a page out of my book and said, man, these people really don't need me to score, let me go do something else, probably doesn't need the bailout because then you go defend, you go be the better backup point guard than what he ultimately was. Like you.
I do agree with that statement. You got to find a niche. The NBA, you could do a lot of things. You got to stay in that league. And one thing that Draymond is right about, he found a way to stay in the league. And every day that you stay in the league is a great day. I don't give a damn what you say. So he found a way to stay in the league. So, obviously he made adjustments. And adjustments are very good.
You carve out a nice niche for yourself. So what I can teach you about is carving out a niche for yourself since you're bewildered about my comments. I could have taught him to carve out a niche, as I did. So what you should go show kids is, man, here's a guy who was the National Player of the Year in college, was a Big Ten Player of the Year, that got to the league actually because he could score in all these different ways. He could shoot three, he could get you off the dribble, he could take you to the block. That's how he got to the league. And shown at times that he could score in the league, but that just wasn't the path. But when you get guys like Austin Rivers, who, again, received the biggest bailout in U.S. history, to say something like that, I was bewildered.
And then Austin Rivers responded on Instagram, tagging Draymond saying, relax, fam, I never was sour towards you, actually highly complimentary, but here we are. I can't stand by and just let you belittle me and disrespect me and my father for no damn reason. Who you think you are? I think you hang around your big bro. We all know who I am talking about. That's LeBron. And you maybe start to think you, him, you're not, lol. You're just a fan and a friend. Fallback, respectfully, I'm not an NBA Hall of Fame guy, and I don't have your NBA resume, but you need a reality check for real. Like, come on, Dre, really? And then posted this video.
Come on, Draymond. This is ridiculous. Seriously. Ridiculous. But you know what? I'm going to address it because you crossed the line and you were mad disrespectful for whatever reason. You've been around too long. We both were drafted in the same class. The fact that you don't have the wherewithal to do your due diligence and actually understand I was being highly complimentary of you on the Dan Patrick Show. But it's you, and I shouldn't be surprised. You always act irrationally, emotionally immature, and your anger always puts you in hot water. So here I am having to address a video of you belittling my career. First off, Draymond, we weren't the same players in high school. I don't care about our numbers being similar. I did it at the national level, the top level. Hence why I got the Naismith Award, and I got pretty much every award you can think of in high school. I was ranked number one. You were ranked, I don't know. So cut it out. Next. College.
I do agree. They were at different type of high schools. So, yeah, that's a little bit different.
You actually were solid. You're actually a really good college basketball player, but it's hard to compare because I was only there for 6 months. Something you could never do. Talk about I was, one of the featured guys. No, I was the guy. I led my team in scoring. I was first team All-ACC, freshman player of the year, lottery pick. Stop. Next.
Okay, I have to agree with Austin Reeves on that again. Like I said, again, they're saying that his dad gave him money, which is crazy. Austin Rivers earned his right to be drafted. He earned his right to be drafted. He never said, I just don't get it. Why he gets so much hate when he made it to the league on his own merit. He didn't make it to the league because of his father. Now, if you want to say his dad gave him the money, there was other teams in the league trying to give Austin Reeves some money. If his dad didn't give, and first of all, his dad wasn't the GM. So that's one thing. His dad was the coach. But if his dad got him the money, what's the problem? That's nepotism. That's number one. And so if his dad didn't give him the money, where would he have dropped to if he didn't get $42 million? Where do you think he would have got? I just don't understand. This guy is getting a lot of hate for no reason. And it's not the hate that Bronny get. he don't have no handout, bro, was cooking, Kwame. No, he definitely was cooking. I'm gonna go back a little bit because what he's saying is right.
Hence why I got the Naismith Award, and I got pretty much every award you can think of in high school. I was ranked number 1. You were ranked, I don't know. So cut it out. Next. College, you actually were solid. You're actually a really good college basketball player, but it's hard to compare because I was only there for 6 months. Something you could never do. Talk about I was, one of the featured guys. No, I was a guy. I led my team in scoring. I was first team All-ACC, freshman player of the year, lottery pick. Stop. Next. NBA, hey, man, you got it, Dre. I mean, listen, I played in the NBA for more than 10 years, more than a decade, but 11 years, but I'm not a Hall of Famer like you. So I'll give you that credit. All right, you got it. But let's peel back that onion and understand why. Easy, Tiger. Okay? You have the delusion, the non-wherewithal, the irony of you saying I'm part of the biggest bailout in NBA history. Draymond, you were the luckiest basketball player I think I've ever seen, especially in modern day history. Let's talk about that. You were drafted to a franchise with a Hall of Fame front office, Bob Myers, Hall of Fame coach, Steve Kerr, the greatest shooter of all time, and perhaps the top 5 player of all time, Steph Curry, Hall of Famer. One of the greatest shooters, top 5 shooter of all time, another Hall of Famer, Klay Thompson. The Swiss Army knife himself, the guy who could do a little bit of everything on the floor, Andre Iguodala, another Hall of Famer. I know, keep up, it's a lot of talent. Not to mention one of the most lethal scorers of all time and arguably a top 10 player of all time, Kevin Durant, the same guy you chased off because of this, your mouth, you talk too much. And that's not even counting the plethora of talent around those guys. The Deshaun Livingstons, the Barbosas, the Andrew Wiggins, the Jordan Pooles, who you also chased off. Cut it out. Draymond, you're the backpack jump shooter. You're the guy that everyone leaves open. No one guards you. There are hours and hours and hours of film of just you being left wide open. In fact, anybody can just YouTube or Google or watch any Draymond game ever, and he's open all game. There are clips of you getting a rebound and just driving in a straight line and just getting a wide open layup because everyone's fanning out to guard the actual talent on the team. Talking about Steve Kerr hindered your career. Bro, Steve Kerr made your career. How dare you? Coming at me? Are you kidding me? I wish I could give my son $200 million if I was a coach. Yeah, the NBA doesn't give coaching jobs to guys who may or may not sucker punch one of the players and staff. You need to fall back, Dre. Let's just be frenemies.
Wowzers. Oh, buddy. Yeah, I think they need to end this. They're going to have to fight. Hey, Austin Rivers, leave him alone, man. He going to want to fight after that. Oh, Lord. Woo. That got spicy real quick. Damn. They both made some good points. But I think I have to give the nod to Austin Rivers on this one. Because, playing with that type of talent, I ain't going to lie. Now, I'm not going to take nothing away from Draymond. Draymond is a great player, but he does have to keep in mind that you do have to take into account who you play with. You do have to take into account that, and people can't help where they get drafted. He could have got drafted to one of the worst teams in the league. And then now it'll just been about what he's doing. And if it's about what he's doing, who knows what it looks like then. So I don't know. Damn, that's crazy. They both went for the jugular. I like Austin Rivers' approach. He was more calm and laid back, but man, that's crazy. That's crazy. He was carried. Draymond did too much kicking. They're going to be hot when they see each other over the summer during the summer hoops. I mean, I hope they don't let that spill over into those summer hoops. Hopefully they just take it out on the basketball court. But shit, you said what you said. He said what he said. It should be over with. It is what it is. They both got money. They both successful. I hope like hell they're not going to let that spill into nothing else. But yeah, damn, that was brutal from both parties. But yeah, Rivers went in. But yeah, man, I hope Draymond and Austin Rivers can patch this up and keep it cool. But if they go keep it on wax, then shit, keep it going. Because these two, boy, they lyrical assassins. But as long as they keep it on wax, I'm all for it. If they trying to go off the Richter scale with it, then nah, I ain't with it. You seen him punch his teammate Jordan Poole somewhere, slide with Austin. Yeah. But y'all have a blessed night. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.